In our news bulletin for this evening, the Public Accounts Committee is working on analysing the national budget to be returned for discussion in the House of Assembly. Rescue training put to practice in a live demonstration held at the quarry last week. The historical Atlantic yacht makes a brief stopover in Niue on its round-the-world voyage. Niue tourism fishing competition ended last week with suggestions to look at potentially expanding the number of charter boats in future. Hakupoto pulled off a great show day despite the weather. The Public Accounts Committee have been deliberating and analysing the national budget for 2016 to 2017 for the past few weeks and are close to finalising a report to return to the Assembly for endorsement. The budget was officially tabled for its first and second reading at the Niue Legislative Assembly meeting in May. The budget process has kept the PAC committee busy, meeting with individual heads of departments and senior staff to discuss the budget lines proposed by different divisions within departments and ministries. We spoke with the chairman of the PAC committee yesterday to find out progress that they have made so far.
We have finished with all the ministries. We are with Finance this morning and the Niue Public Service Commission in the afternoon. But looking at the progress we are doing as a PAC, following our terms of reference and consultation with ministries and departments, we are nearly finished. Probably by next week we'll be able to complete our task. The last one to us will be all the state-owned enterprises that we will have to go through the new financial year's budget. But we have already completed the current with the former ministries like Niue Power, Utilities, and other departments.
What is noticeably different this year is that some of government's main revenue-generating divisions have now been removed and placed under the Niue Philatelic and Numismatic Company. That is the commercial trading arm of government. However, Mr. Pingia says that these shifts do not have any major effect on the work of the committee.
Although there is a transformation and a shifting of people around, the total budget compared to last year is not much different. However, by saying that, there are certain areas within some of the ministries and departments, particularly areas that like the social services ministries. Those are the areas that the government has put a lot of effort in and funding into in order to provide education, health, and look after our people here in Niue. This morning we met with Treasury officials and we went through their budget, and we were happy to see that there's an increase, and they exceeded the target by receiving more revenue through customs and taxation. It is just some operational matter within some of the division that concern the Public Expenditure Accounts Committee at the moment. But I believe those areas will be looked at by the Financial Secretary and try to improve.
Mr. Pinga says that one of the challenges remains to be the issue of collecting outstanding debts that is estimated to equate to $2 million. But it is clear that the PAC have been tasked to look into the national budget to identify areas that can be improved.
Our task is to look at certain areas within each ministries and to see how or why some of the the budget items were over-expended and why some of the area were under-expended and why revenue were not collected. All this area, and there is no different from previous years in the exercise we went through, that there are some improvement, but still a lot of improvement to be done by some of the department.
PAC will conclude their meetings next week and finalise the budget to be returned for the final discussions and endorsement from members of the Niue Legislative Assembly. Once endorsement has been given, then recurrent funds can be utilised for the new financial year that starts in July. Niue's rescue personnel from the fire service, the police force and the health department demonstrated their rescue and evacuation skills at the quarry site last Thursday. The hour-long live exercise was a culmination of a 2-week intensive training where they had to familiarise themselves with some new rescue equipment and how they're to be used in real-life situations, all done under the tutelage of the rescue specialist from the Fire Service in New Zealand. Pautonga Kamto of the Fire Rescue Service said the whole exercise was well coordinated. Putting their skills into practice in real-life situations was good to stimulate their alertness at all times in emergencies. He would like to see the continuation of such exercises not only from the local point of view, but also some assistance from outside of Niue.
The key to this activity is ensuring that the emergency services can respond or have the capability to respond to any incident that is required. And I can see the benefits of the emergency services coming together and making sure that everyone aligns themselves so that when they respond to an incident, that they're all in sync with how to respond. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done between the services, but I think the last 2 weeks that we trained with Niue Fire and also with Health Department, it sort of brought us together as one. Instead of thinking of 3 agencies, it became one agency, and which is the emergency management. So I think that was a good start, because it demonstrated that it is important that the services working together have the capability to respond to any emergency. I could honestly say now that we're in a better position now to respond to any incident. With Niue's tourism blast, a lot of tourists coming into Niue, going to our chasms, visiting our caves, we're in the best position now to respond to anything that happens. I could probably look back, in the early years of my policing where, we performed the same task, and without the resources at the time, we still managed. But in this modern day and age, we've got better equipment, and it's equipment that we can now respond with that capability with the emergency services. So we're in a better position now, and I can be grateful for the training that took place, because it really means a lot for emergency services. And I think that's the last thing that Niue government would expect. If we're getting all these tourists coming into Niue, can we really respond? Do we have the capability? Well, I could probably put my hand up and say, yes, we have the capability now to respond to an emergency.
With Niue's Disaster Management Centre yet to be built, there is a collective effort from all departments involved in this exercise to see that our rescue services are well coordinated and equipped to handle any emergency situations under any circumstances, when and if they happen in or around Niue. Not only were our rescue service personnel trained to do rescue or evacuation operations, they were also taught to do emergency cardiopulmonary resuscitation and applying other life-saving services at any place and any time. It's a 24-hour, 7 days a week service with trained personnel always on standby.
That was a good effort from all the services, because it was quite important for us to ensure that that we learn as much as we can, because 2 weeks is short, but we really pushed ourselves to ensure that we managed to retain the knowledge and skills that these guys had taught us. So we're thankful in that respect. But there are capable and young fellas in the emergency response team that will be able to do the job. So that's up to the services to manage and to see where they need to be at in terms of their staff. But it's like anything else. You're going to send the best people to do the job, and we'll focus on that. But my comments is that they're capable. They still will be able to do their job as required.
With that phase of the exercise over, the Chief of Police, Tony Edwards, is confident that not only the police force but other essential services in Niue can now move on to other similar operations that will help the well-being of our Niuean people or any visitors to Niue. This whole operation has allowed them to have confidence in knowing that they have the capabilities to handle any emergencies. He hopes to continue similar services and exercises that will take place in future, but at a different location under different circumstances. A classic 3-metre schooner with a crew of 12 made an unexpected stop at our shores last week. The 380-ton, 64.5-metre long schooner with a top sailing speed of 15.5 knots under full sail was on the round-the-world journey and called into Niue after experiencing some gear failures on its way from the Bora Boras in Tahiti to Fiji. According to the skipper, Mark Stapley, the Atlantic is on a 5-year cycle round-the-world trip. They started in Greece. The Atlantic will sail next to Whangarei in New Zealand early next year, where it will be dry docked for 6 months to undergo repairs before continuing. The owner of the 1903 replica wishes to stay anonymous, with the 12 crew on board are all from different nationalities, something the skipper says he hopes will continue throughout its 5-year schedule round the world voyage. 2 years after it was commissioned in 1903, it won the transatlantic race in a record that stood for 95 years until 1998. The Atlantic schooner has undergone some major refitting work over the years and had paid patronage to various World Cup yacht races as well as hosting some celebrities, and is now just cruising the world, meeting up with its owner at various stops since it left Greece. It has followed the trade winds into the Pacific, and with a schedule that allows it to cruise and enjoy the Pacific has to offer, the rate of the crew is quite satisfactory, according to the skipper, and everyone is enjoying the luxurious journey and is in no hurry to disembark. The Atlantic schooner left Niue late Wednesday afternoon, bound for Fiji, and is expected to complete its journey in a few years' time. The annual fishing tournament that was organized by Niue Tourism and postponed from the previous week started on Monday last week. This year's event attracted some regulars from New Zealand who have enjoyed and continue to enjoy fishing out of the waters around Niue. There are also those who are not here for this year's tournament but have booked for next year.
Last year we lost our Black Heart sponsorship, but we've got a new sponsor, BCN Drilling, and I've done all the organising, and we just love the place, and we've already got another half a dozen people for next year. We're limited with the number of boats. We can't, at the moment, if we had another 6 people, we couldn't get them on the boat. There's not enough boats, but we're working on that.
Event organiser Micah Fuiniu of the Tourism Office said the events have the potential to get bigger and encouraged local fishermen and women to take part. Coastal waters around Niue provide some good fishing competition, and there are always those who are keen to hook in the ones that always seem to get away.
It's been really, really good. Our waka fishermen have really been giving our international guys a good run, but it's been a pretty good tournament overall. Following this, we have a couple of other fishing groups that will be arriving, one here for 3 weeks, one here for 4. There's a lot of fishing going on leading on to Kainue as well, which falls in September. So there are quite a few events coming up throughout the rest of the year, right through to October.
One of Niue's favourite sons, former Manu Samoan All Black midfielder Frank Bunce, was one of the regulars at the event. He plans to be here for future competitions. Being an ex-All Black and a Niuean, Frank has influenced some of his colleagues from New Zealand to come to Niue, not only for the fishing, but also to enjoy Niue's hospitality.
It's pretty successful with the fish as far as they're concerned, but it's the fact that they're out here and doing something that they love, and they all come to love the island as well. So some of them have been back 3 years, 4 years now, and still enjoying things. So the competition, you know what it's like. If you catch fish, it's good, but if you're out there on the water and having a good time, and then the guys are happy. So happy to keep coming back. It's enjoyable. Well, the people, but you come here and there's a nice feeling, and it's relaxing. too. You know, there's everything you need is here. It's a beautiful place. You know, you want for nothing. The people, everyone's welcoming, and you know, obviously my mother in Avaseli, and you know, that's where she's from, and all her side and that, and you know, it just feels right. Just keep coming back, and you know, we're looking at building a house down there on the site of there. So you know, I think we'll just keep coming back all the time now.
The winners of the tournament, Sima Tanevesi, took out first place for the heaviest fish caught off a canoe. Second went to Billy Graham Talangi, and third place to Hakimoto Laufoli. For the combined weights of fish caught over 3 days in the canoes, Daniel Makaia came first, Hakimoto Laufoli second, and Hage Tongatuli in third place. For the charter boats, Corey Penny caught the heaviest fish and came first. Second went to Bruce Carrot, and Waza Olive came third. The combined heaviest catch over 3 days, once again won by Corey Penny, who not only caught the heaviest fish throughout the 3 days, his overall combined weight catch on the charter boat Turtle was 90.1 kilograms. Second place went to Mandy Leslie on the charter boat Teresa with a total of 61.7 kilograms, and third place went to Sam Donalich, also on charter boat Turtle, catching 57.9 kilograms worth of yellowfin tuna, 10 skipjacks and 1 wahoo. The village of Triple Stars, Whinione Hakupotoa, held their annual show day more than a week ago, despite the wet and rainy weather. Hakupu Show Day was jam-packed with activities to suit people of all ages, and the food stalls selling barbecue food, sweet desserts, Niuean food, baked goods, and more delicious food for many satisfied customers. The theme for this year was based on reconnecting with Whinione Hakupotoa descendants living abroad. Village Council Chairperson, Mrs. Itsi Tupitonga, during his speech, mentioned that Hakupu's younger generations are very excited to be receiving a playground sponsored by the New Zealand High Commission. The Hakupu Young People's Fellowship this year decided to go off and book and design their own uniform in black and white, created specifically for the day, whereas the village people wore the theme colour pink, representing the uniform colours of the students of Tuasea. After the formalities were over, the youth of the village performed various old chants with a modern twist, finishing off with a song that was composed nearly more than 20 years ago, titled Tula Yo Pui Yo. There was also entertainment from families with ties to the village residing in outer villages, helping them to reconnect back to their roots. The eventful day ended with a fun game of touch rugby at the Tuasea field, where the Hakupu youth played against a team that was formed with different players from different villages. And that is our news bulletin for this evening. We do hope you can join us again for our next news bulletin on Thursday.